Awesome. We're back. We're looking at plays. It's what we love to do as basketball officials, looking at all of the things, end of game situations, getting better as basketball officials. Let's go. Greetings and welcome back to 5 Play Friday, the show where we analyze game video to get better as basketball officials. Our first play today is a You Make the Call play. As always, let's look at play number 1. What do you have on this play? All right, we have a free throw situation. What the heck happened on this play? Do you have this to be a violation on the shooter? Not a violation on the shooter? Do you agree with what the crew did on this play? Put your comments down. Put your ruling, rather, down in the comments below, and we will make sure to look at that at the end of the show. So stick around. And with that, let's move on to play number 2. All right, a controversial play from an NCAA tournament game. Welcome back, everyone, to 5 Play Friday. My name is Greg Austin with A Better Official. We craft video to help basketball officials get better, and 5 Play Friday is one of the ways that we make that happen. So let's take a look at what we have going on this play. This is all about status. Right? Anytime we have a backcourt play like this, it's all about status. In order to have a backcourt violation, we must have team control on the court. The ball must gain front court status and be last touched by the team in control, and then gain backcourt status and be first touched by that same team in control. So a play like this is really relatively straightforward. We seem to have a reaction by the calling official. You see how there's a jump, sort of an excitement, right? Maybe a moment more and we could have processed this play, but let's take a look here at all of the things here, right? So we have team control on the court. That is, we have a player in the backcourt dribbling the basketball. Give me just a sec. And the ball is passed to a player. Now, a player's status is always determined by where they are in contact with the court or where they were last in contact with the court. This player is clearly in the front court. They have front court status. That is not a question here. And then they step into the backcourt, they contact the basketball, and then the ball, does the ball change status when that happens? And then, does it gain front court status and then gain backcourt status, which would be necessary to have a violation in this situation? Let's take a look at it. Possible foul, right? So the timing here is really critical. This player, until they put their foot on the floor in the back court, has front court status. If this player catches the ball with front court status and then steps into the back court, that'll be a backcourt violation. But is that what happens here? Right? The player clearly puts their right foot into the back court, and they therefore at that instant have backcourt status. They touch the basketball. The ball continues to have backcourt status. It has backcourt status. And now it has front court status. Okay, so at this point, the ball has gained front court status. If this player causes the ball to go into the backcourt now, this would be a backcourt violation. But that is not what happens on this play. This is a legal play. This is not a backcourt violation by rule. Our calling official displays great confidence. And of course, they're in a dark corner of the court relative to the benches. There's no pushback. Nobody knows that it's not. Don't really have the ability, the official's on an island here. But the question is, does the contact with the basketball, which occurs first? Does the foot gain contact with the floor and then the touch of the basketball? To my judgment, it certainly does. Right? The ball has yet to be touched. The foot is down. This is a legal play by rule. All right, a backcourt violation. Let's take a look at a backcourt violation ruled. Let's take a look at our next play. All right, end of game, playoff game, end of game situation, 2.5 seconds, inbound the ball. The first try misses. The ball is tipped in. Was this legally tipped in? Did our officials have a great view of the play? What are all of the things on this one? This almost brings it into question. If we had high quality video review, what would we rule on this play? It seems pretty obvious, from the initial view that the ball is on the ring when it is contacted by the offensive player. Seems pretty obvious. Our center had a great look at the play. No call was made. Did not share that opinion. Let's take a look. Trail counts it. Celebration ensues. One team wins, one team loses, right? So let's take a look at the play. We have the advantage of super slow-mo and what have you. Right, try is released. Ball is on the ring. Now, once a ball is on the ring in this situation, players are not allowed to contact the basket or the ball. So what happens exactly on this play? The defensive player swipes up and contacts the net just prior to the offensive player contacting the basketball while it is on the ring. If we had super slow-mo, would we rule this to be a defensive basket interference for contacting the ring? Or be contacting the basket while the ball was on or in? One thing definitely happened before the other, even though it was a fraction of a second. So on this play, the obvious occurrence is the ball was contacted while it was on the ring. The not so obvious was that the defense contacted the basket, which includes the net. You could say it had no impact on the play, but by rule, a violation. So, an exciting play, and of course, end of game situation. Somebody wins, somebody loses. We want to be great in these situations. We want to have high certainty. We want to have high focus. So when this happens in our game, in a big moment, etc., we can make the correct ruling on the play. It's great to see plays like this that occur, as that gives us a chance to think through all of the things from the comfort of our couch, right? So that when we're out in our game, this kind of play happens, we can have an opportunity to get the play correct. And getting plays correct is what we are all about here at 5 Play Friday. And one of the ways we can make that happen is tremendous show supporters who help fuel our broadcast. Who is up on the show supporter big board? James Frazee, Yvette Perry, Aaron Wall, Jacob Krause, and Mike Connors. Much appreciated, much love. You want to support the show? Indeed. There will be a link in the show notes below, and I'll make sure to put one up above. We must move forward to our next play scenario. All right, let's move on. Next play.
Here is the inbound from Grace O'Hare, and a whistle before. And what do we have? An offensive foul.
And here's the thing. That's 5. Emma Bailey is gone. And if that might be, so not only is Emma Bailey gone, this is free throws to
So Emma Riley with the foul. That is not a player control foul. That is a screen. And it's a 2-shot opportunity for Karina Joffitson.
Well, I think he called for a push-off.
Joffitson at the line to shoot 2. 45-44, Baraga with the lead. Second free throw's good, 9.5 to go. A 3-pointer will win it. A 2-pointer will send us to overtime. And a timeout is called. Now we can't leave. We've got to stay with it.
All right, foul during a throw-in by the player on the throwing team. Bonus free throws awarded. Critical end-of-game situation. 9.9 seconds remaining. Free throws are successful. Team wins the game. This is not the time of the game where we want to be making mistakes like this, right? If this is a foul on blue 1, a teammate of the thrower, during a throw-in, this would be a team control foul by rule. There would be no free throws attempted. We can look at some of the habits and behaviors that occur during the play that help that maybe lead our crew astray here, right? This is a critical mistake in an end-of-game situation that we simply cannot make, right? We have to be better than this as a crew. I don't know if this playoff, obviously it's at a large arena, state playoffs. I don't know if this was the finals. Do we have somebody at the table, an alternate official who can help our crew here? I don't know the answer to that. But if we look at the habits and fundamentals at the spot of the foul, have we identified this as a team control foul by rule? No. Is that a good clue to us that we should always identify these plays as team control fouls? We see our center official. Our center official comes in reacting to the initial whistle with bonus free throws, and then they freeze for a moment, right? Let's take a look at that. Right, so we have screening action. We've got competitive action off ball. We do have a hooking action by blue 1. Could certainly be ruled a foul. We say we have a motion like this. We're pointing at players. We're gesticulating. We're showing what they did as a foul. And our center comes in and says, hey, that's bonus. Oh, wait, what do you have? Right? So there's confusion in the moment, but we've sort of set things going down a path from which we cannot recover. Was it the lack of a lanyard? We got great composure by blue 1. This player, probably their best player, has fouled out in this key moment. We'll see some less than great composure from players in a subsequent play. Right, but the lane is filled and free throws are attempted erroneously in this situation. There's discussion going on. We note our lead official goes opposite. Sometimes we get to, I can't explain it. But this is erroneous by rule. That's the bottom line. Bonus free, a team control foul during the throw-in by the thrower or any teammate of the thrower is a team control foul by rule. That rule was changed maybe 10 years ago. To be there is team control for the purpose of adjudicating fouls. Sometimes we can hold on to things, but we have to, as a crew, understand what do we have on this play? What is your ruling? What is the correct adjudication? There's 10 seconds remaining in the game, a tie game. We cannot make this kind of mistake. So we have the luxury of learning from others' mistakes, things we could do to prevent this in this situation. Identify this as a team control foul, always, each and every time, so that when the stress of the game is there, we are indicating team control foul. Understand what your partner has on a play. Make the correct ruling. Fight for the correct ruling in the game so that we don't end up in a situation where we have sent the game down the wrong path, right? One team is obviously affected by our erroneous ruling in this situation, and that is not what we want in our game. We have to move on. We have to move on. Let's look at our next play.
Something's got to give here over the final 16.2 seconds. Bo out in front, 37-36. Coach Meter putting the finishing touches on whatever he drew up in the huddle, and he's going to send his girls onto the floor here. This thing should be decided one way or the other over the next 16.2 seconds. Let's see.
If I'm Kenneth, if I'm Bo, I'm fouling. I'm going to foul, and after about 2 or 3 seconds here, I'm going to foul.
Let's see what they do.
Foul.
Chin, they're going to play on 10 seconds. Up top, McClellan. Go down to 5 seconds. Chin up top, down to 4. Back to McClellan with 3. McClellan runs into a double team, and a foul is called. Is it going to be on the floor, or was it in the act?
Two shots. 2 shots.
2 shots on the way. Now the question is, how much time are they going to add to the clock?
She got it off. She got it off before the clock went off. We saw the light. She got it off.
So let's see what the officials want to do with the clock. Right now it reads zeros. McClellan is going to head to the free throw line for 2 shots.
If it's 0, everybody should be back off the line, though. Right now, everybody should be back 0, right, Nick? What the heck is going on here? If it's 0...
As of now, it's still 0. The officials are still talking.
Then it becomes almost like a technical foul situation, right? It's 0, everybody's off.
If there's no time
That's what
left,
they're doing now.
You're right, you're not allowed on the lane if there's no time left. So they are going to clear it. There is no time remaining. And here we go. You want to talk about a pressure cooker. 1 to tie, 2 to win the state title for Kaylee McClellan. No problem on the first. She has been perfect today with 6 of 6 at the line.
Steel, nerves of steel, Nick.
In that first half. This
Watch
is for the state championship.
Bango.
Yes, and Kennett is going to win the title in walk-off fashion at the free throw line. The hero
we got an angry
is
coach on the sideline, very upset about the call, and a win on this side. Oh my gosh!
The celebration.
Okay, end of game drama, state championship. I think New Hampshire is here. We have a foul ruled just prior to the expiration of time, but clearly there is time remaining. The crew does not recognize that time. Free throws are with 0s on the clock and no correction, properly adjudicated to be administered with the lane cleared. But, and it's not super clear which player the foul was ruled on. It appears that it was ruled onto the player who jumped into the path and had the ball contact her midsection. But our failure to put time on the clock here is an issue. We have to have an opinion here. It's just obvious. There's a whistle. The fist goes up, and there's time on the clock, and the clock expires. What's also clear is that this team had fouls to give, and they chose not to use that option. I think many coaches would look at this clip and say, you deserve to lose that game, right? You did not foul. You should have fouled, right? Which previously in the year we've had clips where players were intending to foul at the end of game and were penalized with either an intentional foul because they didn't call the first foul or what have you. So maybe the team didn't want to put themselves in that position. If we look at the drive itself, all right, we have a player jump into the path. They are moving with their arms up in a vertical position. The ball contacts their midsection. That player did not foul. If we look at the inside action, 22 White has hands on, hand across the arm. The ball is already gone. If the ball is already gone at this point, is this incidental contact? You could debate the call itself. And that's fine. We could debate the call itself. That was a foul, that was not a foul, etc. But the official made a ruling. They put a whistle on the play. But we need to identify that there's time remaining in this game. We had every opportunity. If you are the center official here, He uses one hand. I think he's saying 4. The foul was on the player who jumped in the path. And right, our center official has to see this clock. We have the clock in 2 locations in their view, right? Your job as the off-ball official here is to have a number, right? Would that give White a chance to win the game? Most likely not, but it could have affected the outcome to have the lane filled, etc. We will never know. But in the end, a great example of a play where we have to have clock knowledge in this situation. It's essential, right? It's our job as the off-ball official here. Tenths of a second are critical in this situation. Having a number, whether you, to me, 0.7 jumps out constantly on this play. Some people have a number that's higher than that. It's hard to tell when, we see when the official raises their fist. We don't hear when the whistle goes. But also being aware of our circumstance, of our situation. Were we expecting a team to take a foul here? Potentially, yes. Yes. But it did not happen. And in the end, that kid was nails shooting those free throws. That was super clear. But one thing I would say also is, in the end, we have that free throw, the thrower attempt her free throws with the lights on the backboard. And I would have those turned off. I would have those turned off. The player does not deserve that distraction of having the lights on, right? We need to know how to do that. But she is nails, makes both free throws, celebration ensues, and we have a winner in our game. All right, our first play today was a head scratcher. What the heck happened on that free throw play? Let's review play number 1. All right, what do we have here, right? Has the thrower violated? Has the opponents of the thrower violated? What the heck do we have? It appears our crew ends up going with the possession arrow, which would indicate simultaneous violations on the play. But it's a real head scratcher, and one that really puts pressure on us if we're taking a moment prior to a free throw. And it's always funny to see players crash into the lane. But if we have a player, if we have a thrower, by rule, by case play, if the thrower actually fumbles the basketball, the responsibility, even as unfair as it would seem in this situation, where, you know, our players in marked lane spaces are players at the starting line. And the slightest thing will send them in, right? Once they anticipate the player's release, etc. And when the energy of that release changes, they are going to come crashing into the lane. But by rule, they are responsible to hold their position even in this situation. So we've got players crashing into the lane, players in marked lane spaces. What else do we know in this situation? If the defensive player goes first, and draws the offensive player in, is it the responsibility of the offensive player or simply the defensive player? Do we ignore the violation by the offensive player? There's a lot to process on this play. This player does not seem to be holding the ball properly when they start their initial movement. It does not appear that this was an intentional fake. So that leaves us with, okay, it's the what has occurred on the play. If our ruling is that both teams violated, simultaneous violation, even if it was the first of a 1-and-1, which it must have been, or the final free throw, then we would go to the possession arrow for the resulting free throw, and that appears to be what happened on this play. So it's not something you see every day. There's two things we have to adjudicate here. One is, did the player intentionally fake? To intentionally fake is a violation on the thrower. The free throw has ended. It is a throw-in violation, and the ball goes to the opponent for an end-line throw-in. If it was not, if the player fumbled the ball, it is not a fake, and then we're going to adjudicate based on the actions of the players in marked lane spaces. So it's not something you see every day. There's a case play that specifically outlines it, and it's great to see it occur in the wild, as we like to say, to see it on video so we have a chance to just process that and put it away in our memory banks. But not a play you see every day. Yeah. How about a bonus play?
Out to Munson. She's going to drive right into the paint for two. That one, good. And then we're going to get a foul off the ball. They're going to count it. Orth was shoved to the ground. I don't know. She's thinking it was on her. No, it was on the Tigers. It was Orth that got fouled, but Munson's bucket will count.
All right. Great get by Lead. Dakota Ted is in the house, right? Great example of, officiating all of the things on a play like this. We can analyze our movement, who is officiating what, our position on the court. And in the end, we have a rebounding foul on a scored goal, right? Who is watching the rebounding foul in the stakeholders in the game? Everybody's watching the shooter and the ball go in the basket. So in these instances, we have to be clear communicators and about exactly what happened on the play, right? Ted does a good job here of indicating the foul. First of all, being aware of the foul, obviously an obvious foul, etc. And then we're telling a bit of a tale. We've got a push. We're scoring the goal. We're going to have an inline throw in, etc. We're going to put a lot of voice in the game in this situation because everybody's confused. Give us guidance. What has happened? Tell us, ref. Right? So let's look at our how we handle this play. First of all, I like this player on the wing. This is a great pull-up in the lane. We've got some potential foot action here. Has this player traveled? Is this an obvious travel? And now we've got our engaged players in the lane. And our lead official has those two. Would I like to be maybe a little bit wider here? Maybe so. We just had a play down the lane. We've got a hook by White and then a throw of the player. Ball goes in the basket. Preliminary signal. Indicate the player. Score the goal. Designate the spot. We kind of designate a spot and our partner doesn't go there. Is that a crime? Right, so this initial play down the lane, right? Our lead has a great look at this. Again, I just like to be a little wider here myself. We've got a player swiping from the outside. So we sort of need awareness here. and the ball goes to the wing. We got a position adjust back, which is good, right? When the ball goes wide. This is a great pull-up. This kid's a great player, you can tell. Yeah, so great job by Leeds staying in their primary, getting the first clamp, right? Understanding what has happened first here is really important, and then getting the obvious displacement on the play. A good play for review, and a great example of doing a lot of things correctly. I appreciate you joining today. If you would do us a favor and do the liking and the subscribing and the notifying so you don't miss out on any of our content. We live stream during the season, but in the off season, we will have video content as well. And before we move to the end of the show, allow me a moment to thank those who fuel our broadcast, our tremendous show supporters: James Frazee, Yvette Perry, Aaron Wall, Jacob Krause, and Mike Connors. Much appreciated and much love. As always, a link will be in the show notes below, and as always, I will put one up above. Awesome. We have for you additional video content, and it is available right here. Here is a special video that I have created for you. And here's another video that YouTube thinks would be one to watch. Make your choice, choose wisely, and we'll see you in the very next one. Take care, everybody.